some trouble I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it. So pull up in the drop top, baby's in the Addy. Hit it from the back, cause I know you got a fatty. Yeah, sipping on some rock, fucking natty. Got me in her mouth, I'm a new favorite candy. Double G where the waist is. She don't mess around with no basic. Roll me up a blunt, gotta face it. Just another weekend getting faded. Gotta stay away from the fake shit. They gon' say they love you when they hating. The rats gon' lead where the snakes is. The demons gon' lead you to Satan. You look like some trouble I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it. So you look like some trouble I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it. So limes and tequila, can't forget the reefer. Always call my phone, but say nothing when I see ya. Limes and tequila, can't forget the reefer. Always call my phone, but say nothing when I see ya.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday morning. Excited to have you guys with us right here on the Betting News Network. This is Saucy Sundays. This is the All Sauce team. My name's Sweatband Jesus. That is V-Sauce. We are missing our third horseman today. And to be honest with you, Chad, we don't know where he is. He's hopefully somewhere alive.
Hopefully he's in his bed, but
Hopefully.
you never know.
You never know.
This
Especially
is
the last couple.
like, Chad, you guys know Summer 16. We all love that shit. This is Sook's Summer 16 right here. I've been saying it.
Hey, man, guy gets married and Stampede happens at the same time. Got to celebrate. That's how it goes. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out to kick off your Sunday. We've all got the Wimbledon final happening right now. We were going to talk about that before we got started, but that just started. So I'm sure you guys got some. Did you bet on the tennis today, dude? Did you bet on the final? Put any beans on the side?
I did not, but I will be tuning in after the show if it's still going. It should still be going on, but just to watch this match. I don't know shit all about nothing, but all the stuff on the timeline, all the hype videos, everything, everyone talking about this. The fact that they just played a couple of weeks ago in another final. There's just so much narrative around this one that, like, if you are a fan of sports, that this is something that's on your radar. So I didn't bet on it, but I will be enjoying it.
I put a free bet on Sinner purely off the fact that Alcatraz won the last one. So, I was like, you know what? Let's just go with the other guy. It's the first time since 2008 that the same two guys have won, or that faced off in the French Open final, faced off in the Wimbledon final. And in 2008, it was Nadal and Federer. And the Wimbledon final is probably, I'm not a huge tennis guy, but my grandmother in the UK is massive into tennis. And so Wimbledon was always something that she would watch. And I'd be over there and I'd end up watching it with her. That match was probably one of the greatest tennis matches of all time. And the ones that I will never forget watching because it was just unbelievable. Not a day, even if, like you said, even if you're a huge casual, you're probably tapped in and watching. I'm sure you guys are probably watching it. If you're watching it on the side of the screen and you got us on your phone, then thanks for tuning in. But keep us posted. I think Center got it. Thanks, Allie. What's up? How's it going? We shall see. But big day today. We got the Club World Cup Finals is also going on. We're not going to talk about it live with you guys here, but Shags wrote about it at Betting News. He told you guys the bets for that if you want to bet on the pitch today. But B and I are going to talk a little bit about some summer league stuff. We're going to talk about the WNBA games, 4 WNBA games. First one's tipping off here in the next hour between Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers going head-to-head, which should be a fun game to talk about. So that's the first one on the docket. Then 3 other games on the WNBA today. B's got some baseball for you guys. We're going to chat a little bit about the Derby tomorrow. We are going to talk more about the Derby tomorrow on Betspresso, but I thought it'd be fun to get involved with talking some Derby. Get V and I's, as V said, giving you guys the total backed bets that we have for the Derby, right?
Exactly. You want our uninformed opinion on who's winning the home run derby, of course, right? We'll give you that.
100%. What's up, Owen? How's it going? Yep. Shout out Jalen Wells. Shout out Sook for that one. That was free money.
Shout out the full fade that I sent to Chef and you boys. That man, Chad, I take full responsibility because we all discussed a bunch of stuff, and then we were running short on time, so I built out the slip that Chef put out, and then I didn't even check, to be honest, because I saw that one of the legs was cooked, so I stopped kind of tracking it. And I woke up to somebody this morning replying to it saying, "Holy full fade."
It was a totally full fade. I didn't even look. I unfortunately had some issues placing the bet, so Chef bet it for me. So I was like, I couldn't even track it myself, and I didn't even pay attention. And that wasn't even Sook's play. My bad. So for some
Wrong
reason,
Jalen.
Jalen wasn't. Yeah, wrong Jalen. The other Jalen. There's so many Jalen's with a Y now in the fucking in the NBA. It's crazy.
It's one of the most popular names, that's for sure.
It's wild. Did everyone just start naming their kid Jalen? When did that happen?
Yeah, after Jalen Rose. He's actually the originator of that name, the first ever Jalen.
But he doesn't have a Y. He just is Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
So where did the Jay? I just added it in, right? I guess.
I don't know. It's like Daniels that spell their name with 2 N's. No, I don't know. I don't think that exists. Does that exist?
Probably somewhere. Chat, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Twitch, or if you're watching us on X, wherever you're consuming this content, we appreciate you guys if you're just tapping in with us to kick off your Sunday. Let's go. All right, dude, how do you want to do this? You want to talk a little bit about this first WNBA game? It's going to be a fun one. I've got a couple plays already locked in for this one. I posted a little parlay on the timeline to get involved with that. So we can talk about that game first, and then we can maybe jump baseball. We can kind of go back and forth between the WNBA for the rest of the slate, maybe mix in. Or do you want to start? Let's start real quick on some summer league stuff. Just kind of get that news out of the way. Did you end up watching any of the games last night? Did you see any of the action yesterday? Did you kind of tap in any of that?
I didn't. I've been kind of in grind mode, so summer league is not something I've had time to watch, but I've been tracking it. It's been all right. Yesterday, obviously not so great in terms of bets, but it's been fun to watch. Cooper Flagg, 30 points. He looked fantastic. Carter Bryant looks fantastic too. The Spurs got another win in summer league. I kind of like what's going on. I'm liking what I see from these young kids. What about you?
I haven't watched live. I think I've watched a little bit of live action just to kind of have something on in the background, just to kind of keep, tabs on what's going on. But we talked about Carter Bryant, obviously. Yeah, Cooper Flagg had a massive day yesterday. It's cool to see though, because I feel like that it's pretty competitive, and I think that you're going to see a lot of these names. And Chad, if you guys are big NBA fans, which a lot of you guys are, that's why you're here with us. A lot of these players that you're going to see in the next week to 10 days are going to be guys that we're going to be betting on in going into October. So if you want to tap in some more, there's more games today. We'll kind of maybe mention a couple of games a little bit later, but we'll see if Sook ends up joining us by the end of the show, and he might have some stuff for us. So, well, then let's jump into this WNBA game, dude.
What we do, I did want to say a couple of things about the summer league. Just some things that I feel like I've noticed, because you brought it up. These are going to be players that we're betting on, and a lot of these guys are guys that we've already bet on last season, right? Guy Eves Missy, guy like Jalen Wells, right? Shout out to Owen and chat. These are guys that we've seen play that are now looking to increase their playing time. That's why they're here. A guy like Reed Shepherd had 28 points last night. It's no surprise. These guys have now played at an NBA level, played against NBA competition, and now they're coming in to not win a roster spot, but to earn playing time and to put on film what their coaches want to see. So, and I also feel like over the last few years, we talk about this all the time, how the talent pool has gotten so much better in the NBA. Like, yes, maybe people can talk about the superstars aren't the same. I disagree with that still. But the guys from like number 4 on your roster all the way through 12 are way better than they used to be 20 years ago, right? Even 10 years ago. And the point I'm trying to make is that here in the league, the guys that are coming in, for the most part, a lot of them have a similar skill set, and a lot of them can be interchanged and brought in. It's also why I think a team like OKC has stacked draft picks, because they kind of see the way this new NBA is moving. You stack your roster with guys that you've drafted and built, and then you can rotate in guys through the draft, develop them, and once guys kind of like evolve in terms of their contract, they move out. You have the young guys that you can pay whatever you want. And it's just, we've seen it in the summer league with how good everybody's been. Look at Bronny James. He's seen that he's not going to be a scorer. He's playing defensively to earn minutes for the Lakers. He's not necessarily doing it because he wants to win summer league games, but all of these guys are playing for something outside of maybe the top 10 picks.
Yeah, they're trying to earn a job and going into the fall, and a lot of these young players, especially like you said, 2 second-year pros that are guys that maybe got an opportunity last year, some. But I mean, even did you see the interview with Eric Spoelstra talking about Khalil Ware? Like that was kind of floating around the timeline. Somebody was asking, like, what do you want to see from him? And Spoelstra was just like, we want to see him continue to develop. We want to see him continue to get stronger. We want to see him hit the glass. We want to see him continue to improve. And this is the opportunity for players like that if you're playing in summer league at this point, if it's your second season in the NBA, like you said, like you're out there to get better. You're out there to push and to show these coaches that you have what it takes. And we talked about this some with Carter Bryant yesterday, but it's like, it's not necessarily your play. And you mentioned it with Bronny of like, it's more about what can you bring to the table that's going to impress your coaches and show that you're developing to be able to be a piece for a team, right? It's like that's what this is all about. So it's cool to see these players, like you said. Also, it's cool to see and this is like the total shift that's been happening over the last 5 or 6 years in the NBA of international talent that we see, and a lot of that gets put on display in the summer league. But then a lot of those guys end up going and playing substantial minutes for the teams that they have, or they get picked up by another team because they go, oh, that guy from Lithuania is pretty good. Let's give him a run. So I think that's cool too, to see the development aspect, and it's not just these kids coming from college getting an opportunity. You got guys coming from overseas as well, looking to make a name for themselves in the NBA too. So it's not really like something, maybe the betting angles isn't really crazy. And like, I know that the sides and the spreads can be fun, and that we talk about props and things like that. But like, I think it's one of those situations, just as a fan and also bettors for going into the fall, you can kind of look at players that you like, or kind of see, ooh, that guy's got some oomph to him. He's going to be fun to contribute later.
This is kind of where everything starts, right? Like we've seen it year in and year out. And it's also why I'll give Sook his credit while he's not here, because I would never want to say anything nice to his face. But
absolutely not.
He is a guy that has been watching Summer League since he was probably a kid, right? He's been watching these players, and he knows what to look for, what kind of things, and that's why he's able to identify players who are going to play at a high level. You don't see Sook watching a lot of college tape. Yes, he will as the draft is coming up and as the season is finishing. But through the season, he's not watching a lot of these college kids necessarily, but he knows what these coaches are looking for, what these teams are looking for. And it's because of Summer League. You see guys like this. Like, look at Buzelis. He was starting for the Bulls last year on a play-in team. He had absolutely no business being in Summer League, but there's also a little bit of, he probably wants to be here because he wants to be ready when the season starts. He wants the extra reps, and that's something we haven't always seen. Sometimes there used to be a narrative, why are you playing in Summer League? Well, that's kind of like you're looked at like, you know what I mean? But it's not like that anymore. It's now just young guys who are on your team, first or second year players, or even third year players that maybe are really, really looking for a spot. And you never know what's going to happen. It's been a lot of fun. I like the Kaishan George play that Owen just dropped too. Another guy we bet a lot last year. Probably you want to see your second year players especially play at a higher level than everybody else. We've seen Buzelis do it. We saw Reed Shepherd do it. This is what we want from these guys.
It's like when you played like in high school or something, like if you played varsity but you were a younger player. Like I played varsity soccer from my freshman year on, but I still played JV my freshman year. So it was like, because my coaches wanted me to also build camaraderie with the guys who were my age or around that age, but also just to develop, and like get better, because you're not going to, even though you're good and you're playing varsity at that higher level, maybe you're not the number one option, or you're still under, like you're still just fitting into the machine, right? But if you're playing JV, you should dominate because of your status of being up in that particular level. It's the same thing. It's like you said, Buzelis should come in and drop 20 to 25. Like he should come in and be a featured piece. Whether he is that for the Bulls next year or not, we shall see. But he's also, what is he, 19? Like these guys are
19, 20.
I mean, yeah, these guys are like teenagers still. So like they still have to develop. They still have to earn. And also, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Wemby and this just dropped, so I don't know if you saw it or not, but Wemby and Rudy Gobert are not going to play in Eurobasket this year. They're going to forego that. I think they both have some lingering injuries, but they also want to be prepared to be ready for the regular season. We talked about this a couple of years ago going into the regular season when Luka was like really fit after they took that deep run in Euro. I don't know what Euro competition it was, but he played a lot of summer ball and he was ready to go. And like even – yeah, that's FIBA, right. I mean, that's the same with superstars, man. Like, it's anything you're really good. Like a well-oiled machine is a well-oiled machine. If you let it sit for a couple months, like it's going to take some time to get it rolling again, regardless of how good you are. And like these guys who are in great condition, if they've been playing basketball for the last month or so and they're in really good shape, especially competitive basketball, you go into October ready to roll. And that's what a lot of these guys are doing right now. And like you said, this is where it starts. So it's cool to see the names that you guys are going to see pop up on the timeline. A lot of them are going to be names that you might never see ever again. You might think like, oh, this guy's good. And then like he never ends up turning into something. But then some of them might end up be somebody that's a starter for their team going into
Jokic cooked in summer league, right? We've seen a lot of but also Kyle Kuzma cooked in summer league, right? Yeah. So there's take everything with a grain of salt. But just because you bring up the thing with Gobert and Wemby, I think I like that move a lot, especially with the way that Wemby has now not been able to play 2 full seasons. He was basically a DPOY last year that lost the award because he couldn't meet the 65 game the minimum, right? I think that this is something that I've always kind of talked about players coming in ready and already fit, right? I do also think though that I'm now kind of moving in the other direction of this international play. Like I'm not talking about summer league because obviously these are young kids and they need to play. And even then, it's not that many games. They're shortened quarters, and coaches are very, very careful about their time. But in these Olympic games, like just to give you guys 3 examples. Last year, we saw Embiid, Halliburton, and Jason Tatum all play Olympic basketball. JT didn't even really play in the Olympics, but coming off of the NBA Finals, they go right into that. You go into the workouts that come with it. You go into the practice sessions that come with it. Everything about taking care of your body. Joel played 19 games last year in total. Jason Tatum lost his Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton lost his Achilles. A lot of these things, all 3 guys are just wear and tear injuries. Like, yes, I know an Achilles is a freak injury in the way that it happens and how instant it is, but it's a buildup to get to that point. It's wear and tear. It's different muscles and different things like that. It's loads that it continues to bear again and again and again until it's just too much, right? And I feel like Mark Cuban was on a podcast and he said this. He's like, we give our players to the Olympics and everything like that for free. We don't get anything. The players don't get anything while they make billions and billions of dollars on the backs of these players, right? We risk injury. We do everything like that. It's like, look at Halliburton this year. Look at Jason Tatum. And I was like, damn, that's kind of, that's real, but that's fucked up. What do we do in this situation? I have no clue.
Well, we've had this discussion before, and kind of moving it out of just basketball, talking about sports as a whole. I mean, we've discussed this on other shows as well of like, what's the line of too much, of like, where are we at right now? Because we're dealing with some of the greatest athletes of all time that we've ever seen ever, like the athleticism that we're witnessing on the daily is just incredible. I mean, your guys are probably watching 2 incredible tennis athletes right now that are going to play a 4 to 5 hour match, which is just insanity too. But like, we're seeing that. But what's the line? Like we said, like there's soccer like 24/7 at this point. Like these guys are playing basketball all throughout the summer. Like, the NFL, like people can't wait to get football back. Like you see these guys throwing like all summer long. Like where is the line of pushing your body and being ready, but also like making sure that you're resting enough to where there isn't that injury problem? And I think you're right. And I think Cuban brings up a good point. And again, I kind of circle it back to soccer because they've been talking about this for couple of years now. Jurgen Klopp actually came out and said something about it, the old Liverpool manager, and he said like it's just crazy that these guys have no breaks. They have no way to recuperate their bodies, and eventually it ends up breaking down because they don't have the opportunity to get the rest, like you said, that they need. And who knows? You just mentioned 3 players that played in the Olympics last year that all ended up either having season-long injuries or Joel Embiid just not being able to play because of wear and tear, right? But I mean, you've also got, look at what LeBron has been doing over the last couple of months. We talked about this talking about more the news aspect of this, but like I ain't seen a whiff of LeBron doing anything basketball related over the last like month, like nothing. And it's probably just because he's like, I'm 40 years old. I need to rest my body and like do other stuff for a little bit and get ready. That's my prep for the season, and like, that's okay too, because eventually, you got to know your body and know like, hey, what can I handle and what can I not handle? So I think it's across all sports that we're kind of seeing like this new age of we're all obsessed as media people and people who love the sports. Like we want to see our athletes training. We want to see them like, their diets. We want to see them like working out and like all this type of stuff. And it's like, if you don't see that from players, you think that they're not as good or like they're not trying hard enough, especially if they struggle at a particular point through the season. It's going to be like, oh, well, if he would have trained harder in June, like he'd be better now. It's like, no.
And like, I do think a lot of it has to do with the fact that like we talk about all the time, people are just better these days, right? Like the talent is more athletic. Guys are training harder. We know more about the like human body than we did 20 years ago, right? So the way that people are training, like if you look at Jason Tatum and how his recovery is going versus just how KD's recovery went. I'm not talking about in terms of how quick it is, but just the things that they are doing, the exercises, the actual physiotherapy aspect of it. Things are always evolving, right? How teams are working out, putting on and their diet and stuff like that. I think one thing that we've always kind of emphasized is hard work and going as hard as you can 100% of the time. But recovery is a huge aspect of this and how players recover. And sometimes if you don't take the time to do that, then you can suffer the consequences. And it's not always about like just working harder. Sometimes sitting down and actually recovering rather than going and doing the fun things that you want to do as a young millionaire, right? That's also something that is tough to do too, right? Like look at LeBron.
100%.
You never saw LeBron do this stuff at a young age where he's in like Puerto Rico at concerts and enjoying life. But at 40 years old, he understands that rest and recovery during this time is super important. Now, I'm not saying Puerto Rico Bad Bunny concerts are rest and recovery, but it's good for the soul. And I wish I was there. I wish I was there.
It looked dope. This is also true too from Gerald, which brings up a really good point as well. It's like, and this kind of ties into what I was talking about with the athleticism. Like we're seeing the most incredible athletic feats right now from people that are ginormous. And like, that is something that there is a line to that. Like, we all talk, like Wemby is an alien, right? But what have we seen from Wemby over the past 2 seasons? Chet, we had the same conversation with Chet. Like Chet's a little bit of a unicorn in that regard too. Just to take it back a couple of years as well. I mean, Porzingis is kind of in the same argument, like really quick, agile 7-footers that are able to do guard-like things in a 7-foot body. But where's the line? Like, where can you actually push that? Yeah, AD. I mean, Embiid in particular situations. Like all these guys that are massive human beings, like sometimes your body just can't move like that. Like you just have to deal with like we talked about Jokic. Like Jokic is big, right? He doesn't really have a lot of those like agile-y type of moves where it's like, wow, that guy's a 7-footer, but like he doesn't get hurt because he doesn't push his body to that level.
He looks like he plays with longevity in mind, and it's kind of weird to see how he can do that and still dominate. I don't know. That dude is a unicorn. Like if we're gonna talk unicorns, he is a unicorn.
Straight up. Well, he's also enjoying his life right now in Serbia or wherever he is, watching his horses win, just having a good time.
Absolutely, man. That's goals right there. Jokic.
Dude, I want to go ride in a bucket with Nikola and have some fun in the summer. All right, chat. Let's talk about some bets. We've got the WNBA today. Big matchup between Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers as the Wings are taking on the Fever. That game is here in the next 30 minutes. It will be on ABC and ESPN. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be tuning in to watch Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers go head-to-head for the first time since they battled in the Final Four in college. I've got a couple plays in this game. V, did you have any thoughts on this game before I kind of talk about some of the props that I liked? I'll just read the spreads real quick here. It is a 10.5-point spread towards the Fever. Wings are obviously still not very good, but they've been playing a little bit better. Paige Beckers has looked really good over the last 5 or 6 games. Arika Ngumbuwale is coming back for this one. She's been out for the last 3 or 4 games for the Wings. She should return. I don't know how that's going to work with Paige necessarily. Caitlin Clark's also back in the lineup for the Fever. So do you have any thoughts on some? I know you've been kind of looking at sides and totals and things like that in the WNBA before I kind of jump into some props that I like.
Yeah, I do. So a lot of the games today honestly have some interesting betting splits that I'll talk about. But today's Fever game, we got 57% of the bets on Wings plus 9.5. Public's loving the Wings here and Paige Beckers. I'm guessing that they're feeling like Caitlin's struggling. Indiana has been good, but Caitlin's really been struggling in this 9.5 points against a Dallas team that's playing much better, getting Ogunawobole back, and now Paige Beckers against the person that she's faced off with in college, right? It feels like a spot, but we're seeing 65% of the handle, aka 65% of the money on the -9.5. And that's a little bit strange to me, just with so many, such a high percentage of bets on the other side. Feels like we're seeing some sharp action on Indy -9.5 here. What are your thoughts on the spread before we jump into props?
I kind of like the Fever. I think we saw them win that game, and the last one you kind of shouted it out. It was the right move to hop on the Fever train. I mean, Caitlin Clark's gonna have another good game soon. Like, she's been pretty bad since returning from injury. Obviously, she doesn't really looked in rhythm. She still had 9 assists last game, and obviously they won, so it doesn't really matter. It looked like all the other girls, all the other ladies were getting involved offensively. So, like, even though Caitlin's not scoring necessarily, she's getting her teammates involved, and they looked good last game. And as I said, this Wings team is not very good. Like, Paige is fun. This team has some like fun moments, but like Paige is like, they're not a good team, especially defensively. I kind of feel like that if you like the 9.5, then that probably means that Caitlin Clark's going to cook in this game, and she's going to come out and want to do some damage. I like Paige Beckers in this spot. I was looking at her taking her points at 17.5, but again, Arika Ngumbawale coming back totally throws a wrench in all of it. It just changes the math. It changes how many shots Paige is going to take. Just because, again, we talked about this with NZ throughout the whole season with these two guards for the Wings. They don't mesh. They're not like they don't like each other or like there's no issues or anything like that. Like their playing styles I think are a little too similar, and they just goes through stretches where neither one of them knows which one needs to take over at that point, and that causes their offense to be very disjointed. So I like Beckers. I'm hesitant on the Enrique play. I have 2 plays on the Fever side, though. I do like, as I said, I like Caitlin Clark. I think that she should have a bounce back game. I would not be surprised. I mean, her points is very low. Her 25 plus is like plus 400, which, we've seen her drop 30 pieces. So
okay, now before you jump into your props, I can't let this go over because I have this open right now. Clark at home this season, she has hit this 17.5 points line at plus 115. Chat plus 115 in 71% of games, 5 of 7 games, averaging a 19.86 points per game. Her 2 best games since coming back from injury have been here in Indiana. It's the only place that she's hit a 3. If you're looking at her 3-point line, over 2.5 for plus 105. In the last 5 games, SPJ, she's shooting 11% from 3. If I did the math and all the addition correctly, that is 4 for 35 from what I'm seeing here. 4 for 35. This feels like a Dallas Wings team that is 10th in defense and points allowed. They are 13th in 3-point percentage allowed, 10th in threes allowed in general. This is a team where Caitlin has done phenomenal against them in the past. I know Paige Beckers wasn't on this team, but if you're looking at just the head-to-head splits, she's had 5 and 6 threes in the last 2 games against them. I don't know. This feels like she has been slumping, the slump of all slumps. Right? Now she's at home. She's against a former rival and against a Wings team that has never, ever had the answer for her. 24, 28, and 35 points in 3 games against them last season.
Yeah.
Again, fuck baseball.
Okay. Do you want to do – so why don't we do this? Because there's 3 games that happen later, and there's still baseball later today. We could just make it a basketball late. But why don't we do a little SGP for this game, which is kind of after we kind of talk through everything, figure out the plays, check, and then write it out with us. It starts in the next 20, 30 minutes or so. But, yeah, I agree with you. And, I mean, this is the same exact thing I was thinking because I thought Asia might not play yesterday for the Aces, and she ended up playing. Her points line was 20.5. She hit it in the first half.
34-16. Shout out Asia, man. I was like, I'm fading them. I didn't care. She's back. It doesn't matter. She showed me.
Oh, well, that I said on the show, I was like, the only way I'm hesitant on the Valkyries is if Asia Wilson plays and she goes crazy. And she played and she went crazy. But my point is, though, is that her points line was 20.5. She hit it in the first half. You're getting Caitlin Clark's at 17.5. And again, like you said, she has been on a very bad slump. But this Wings team is the team that you can get right on. This is definitely the type of team you like coming to town if you're going through a little bit of a shooting slump because they like to allow a bunch of points. I like the over in this game. I think both of these teams can score 170 and I think 173 and a half.
I'm calling her right now. 2 threes in the first quarter, and she's going to be fucking screaming before halftime.
Oh yeah, I could see her scoring 20 in the first half. Like she's due for a like breakout game. There's gonna be a lot of people watching this game. Paige across the other side. I feel like that's the move. So down to put it in the parlay. Didn't bet it straight. Probably going to regret it after we talked about it for this long. But on the same note, because the Wings are so bad defensively, I went in a couple different directions. I went with a couple of other players on the Fever. Yeah, Caitlin Clark has cooked the Wings, but you know who else has cooked the Wings? V. Kelsey Mitchell, and Kelsey Mitchell has been on an absolute tear, especially at home. 25 points in their last game against Atlanta. She's had 32, 30, and 36 in 3 straight games against the Wings, dating back to their one matchup this season and then dating back to the last 2 last year. She's on a heater right now. She's been shooting the ball really well at home. I think the 16.5 line is kind of a joke. I think you're getting great value for the 20 plus. I mean, hell, you can take it up to 25. 25 plus is plus 570. If you're feeling really frisky and you want to sprinkle the 30 piece, it's plus 1,600. She's had 30 points against this team in 3 straight matchups. So I think you can kind of pick and choose. There's a bunch of good spots for like some ladderable ability. I'm going to talk about one in just a second. Another one that I really like that I did actually ladder to, but I really like Kelsey Mitchell in this game. I think she's going to have a good spot. So I took the 16.5 points and I did ladder it to 20 plus. And again, have some fun if you want to go as high as you like. Her threes is,
yeah.
Her threes is also, yeah, you can talk about it. You got it pulled up.
2.5 plus 165. It's hitting 3 straight against Dallas, 5, 6, and 4. It's also hitting 7 in her last 10 games overall. Chat. She's shooting 45% over her last 10 games. And like I just said, this is a Wings team that is god awful on the perimeter.
Yeah, terrible. Threes is a good spot too, especially for the plus money, like you mentioned. I just went the points because I think she's going to score. But the other play that I really like a lot is somebody that I bet quite consistently over the last week or so. You've heard me say her name to you and so a few times. And I really still don't understand why this line is sitting where it's at. So going back to the wagon, that is Natasha Howard. Give me Natasha Howard over 16.5 points and rebounds. I also sprinkled on the double-double for plus 750. Didn't quite get over the line last game for the value, but I was really happy with the value bet. It was like plus 1,600, and she had 9 and 7 in that game against the Dream. I love her rebounds at 5.5. It's a little too juice for me, though. It was minus 150. I don't like to pay that much juice for an individual prop, but she had 13 boards against this team when they played on the 27th of June. Again, like you mentioned, we're not going to belabor this point any longer, but this team sucks defensively. They're not good down low. I know Lee Yuru has helped a little bit down low with size that she brings, but this team's still not a very good rebounding team. Definitely is going to allow some points. Natasha Howard looked like she's finally settled into this lineup. 15 and 13 in their last matchup. The double-double for plus 750 feels like a great value for a sprinkle, and I love the PR at 16.5. And I like the rebounds for just like a parlay, or if you want to pair it with something. If you don't mind paying the minus 150 for the boards too, I don't hate that either. But I really like this play. This is probably my favorite in the game. But like I said, there's a bunch of spots that are nice. You talked about Caitlin. We talked about Kelsey. Natasha's in a good spot. We didn't even mention Boston. She had a good game against this team when they played last time as well, scoring the basketball. So, and I think Paige can also cook too. So this should be a fun one. I mean, I really feel like this game could turn into a really fun back and forth on ABC in here in the next 20 minutes or so. So
the over sitting at 173 too. I'm not saying that I want to take it, but 174.5. Chat. The other games 166, 163. Some like Vegas is telling us something here that there's going to be some scoring here. It's going to be a fun game. Get in on some props and let's cook up a little SGP before we move on.
Absolutely. Let me just run through these for fam. I have Kelsey Mitchell 16.5 points straight up, and then I also have Natasha Howard over 16.5 PR, and then the double sprinkled if you like. V likes Clark points. We both kind of talked about Paige Becker's points as well. It's probably a good play, but I'm a little concerned about Enrique coming back, but I think both of those ladies should cook, especially with the narrative on the line today. Okay, man. Yeah, let's cook something up here. Let's do I think we both feel good about Clark in some regard. I like her PA too, if we want to go that route. She should facilitate too.
I'm down for the PA, yeah. I'm down. I was even down for the threes if we want to take that at plus money.
Why don't we do Clark PA and then Mitchell threes?
Cool. Do you take Mitchell to 3 or is that too greedy?
I can get down with it. I'm not opposed.
Mitchell at 3, Clark, and then Howard, PR.
Yeah. Or just her rebounds for the lay.
I'm down.
just so we don't have to worry about her scoring because she does, go through stretches. All right, so PA for Clark, 25.5. Howard, 6 rebounds, 3s.
We got to add something with Paige too, right?
I think so. We should. Kelsey for 3. Paige, do you just want to do the points?
I was going to say the points.
16.5.
Yeah, narrative, everything. She's been hooping.
Yep. I mean, those 4 legs plus 1,000. Natasha Howard, 6 rebounds. Clark, 25.5 PA. Kelsey Mitchell, 3 threes. Becker, 17 points.
That feels fantastic.
I mean, nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
Okay. All right, let's leave it there then. Chat, that's plus 1,000, little SGP for this first game if you'd like to ride. We're not going to post this on the timeline, but if it smacks, it'll go everywhere. But just for you guys for tuning in, for hanging out with us. I will read it one more time, and then we will jump into the rest of the slate. Natasha Howard over 5.5 rebounds. Caitlin Clark over 25.5 PA. Kelsey Mitchell 3+ 3-pointers, and then Paige Beckers over 16.5 points. That is plus 1,000. Rock and roll. Bet it however you'd like to. Bing, bong, bang. All right. Did you have any straights in that game? Did you end up locking anything straight?
I locked in the 2.5 threes for Clark straight. Nice. Plus 100 on BetOnline. Nice.
Word. Cool. All right. Well, then let's jump to the next game. This next one should be really good. I like all the games today for different reasons, but this one is going to be really fun. The Liberty taking on the Dream. Liberty 5.5-point favorites. Dream dogs in New York today. Over under set at 165.5. Patch, if you're still here, the Dream looking frisky. Any thoughts on the splits here that you're seeing before we kind of talk about some props?
Yeah, so I'm seeing a huge jump right now from what it was before. We're looking at I'm guessing a lot of money just came in on the Dream plus 4.5. So 53% of the money is on minus 4.5. Sorry, of the bets. 53% of the bets are on Liberty minus 4.5. But now I'm looking at the Dream with 75% of the handle at plus 4.5. And this is something that was sitting around 61%, 62% literally 10 minutes ago. I just hit the refresh button before you asked me, SPJ, and that has since jumped to 75%. Looks like some late and big action just came in on the Dream side. I was kind of leaning this way anyways. Like we've talked about, the Liberty have been kind of shaky. They're 4-6 in the last 10 games. They've lost 2 of their last 3 as well. I don't know if I'm completely sold on this team, SPJ, but am I kind of maybe not seeing this the right way? What do you think?
I like it. I like the Dream. I didn't end up taking that, but I like this team. And one of the reasons why the prop that I bet is because of the guard play they've been getting. I mean, Alicia Gray is obviously a very deserving starter in the All-Star game, but Ryan Howard has been kind of banged up, but she's looked really good. They kind of fell apart, like I said, against the Fever in their last game. They were staying right with them off a couple of really big games, which I'll talk about one of their players in just a second on why I like her today. But they've been hooping. I mean, they've been good all season long. The Liberty have gone through stretches where they look like they're very inconsistent this year, which is weird. Jonquil Jones is definitely missed by this team. Sabrina's due for another good game, I think. So I think if Sabrina has a big game and if Stewie gets rolling, then I could see the Liberty maybe covering this game and most likely winning. But I don't know, man. The Dream are good, and they're a lot better at home. So maybe they're still, because they're on the road and they lost that game to the Fever, maybe that's what we're seeing here. But I would lean also with the Fever to cover, or excuse me, the Dream to cover. I like that 4.5. Even if you can find the 5.5 somewhere, I think they should keep this game relatively close. But I don't really get this line, so I'm going to just jump into the prop that I like, which kind of ties into what I was just talking about. I'm going to Jordan Canada, and I'm taking her over 11.5 points. It's minus 105. It's coming off a 30-piece, her highest points total this season. She's hit this in 4 of her last 5 games. I like the PRA too. If you want to go that route, she's a good facilitator. Obviously, she's going to be running the point for this team. And I was kind of worried when Ryan Howard came back that she was going to I didn't know if her volume was going to drop or what was going to happen. And it's been exactly the same as it was previously. So I think the 11.5 points is just an absolute discount. Don't really understand the line here. She's taken 17, 10, 15, 8, and 22 shots in her last 5 games. She looks like she's healthy, finally back in the starting lineup for this team. set it, forget it. I'm not going to overthink it. Give me the points for Canada. I think she has a good opportunity. She's also already scored 15 points against this team when they played on the 29th of June. The Dream also won that game at home by 9. So, yeah, really like Canada here. Also like Ionescu. I think she should have a good game as well on the Liberty side of things. But I only took one prop in this game, and it was Canada.
Okay, I like that. I have a prop to ask you about too. Somebody I haven't talked about on the show actually.
Sure.
Brianna Jones. Sorry, not Brianna Jones. I have Brianna Jones open right in front of me, but Brittany Griner, 14.5 PR. Sorry, 14.5 PR. Rebounds line is at 4.5. Now I know she's 6'9". I know she's one of the tallest players in the WNBA. Why is her rebounding line sitting at 4.5 against a team that ranks 12th in rebounds per game right now, is missing their starting center in Jonquel Jones? What are we looking at here? Because this is also a line she's hit in 4 of her last 5 games. It's also a line that she's hit in 3 of her last 4 against this same Liberty team.
She's just really hard to bet on for me. I like the PR line a lot. The PR would probably be the way that I would take it at 14.5, like you just mentioned, especially against this Liberty team, like you said. But her playing time can just be so inconsistent, and it's just hard to cap sometimes. Like she had 23, she only played 23 minutes when they played against the Liberty in New York on the 17th of June, and then she had 28 at home in their next game against the Liberty with 14 and 4. So I like it. I think it's a great play. I don't like betting on her just because of the playing time. For me, is always just funky to watch, and it's a little frustrating sometimes. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense. She has been better the last 4 or 5 games. It seems like they've gotten a little bit better about giving her the proper minutes and like all that jazz. So I like it. I don't hate it. I have kind of a bad taste in my mouth from betting her from the start of the season, just because her graphs are so fun to look at, because it's like, wow, look at all that green. And then you're like, oh, wait, like now she's only playing like 22 to 25 minutes, and then you got to hope that she gets enough time,
Yeah, she's got some random games in here with like a sub 20 minutes, and like you think, oh, blowout. No, they're not all blowouts. Not at all.
No, it's very strange. So yeah, it's a good question. Someone even on the timeline asked me about it. They were like, I comboed some stuff and I put, what did you think of this lay? And it had Griner 10 points in it. And I was like, that scares me every time. You got to hope that she makes like all of her shots, basically. That's how her volume is really not going to be there that much. But it's a possibility. So I like it. And as you mentioned, it's a good matchup. They really struggle on the glass with no Jones. I mean, the guards are in a good position rebounding too. Alicia Gray has almost had a double-double against this team. She had 9 boards against them when they played last time. Ryan Howard's a good rebounder too, but again, her knee is kind of, I think she's banged up. So Canada's also been rebounding pretty well too. So I think any of those possibilities. One more play I looked at in this one was Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud had a really good game against this Dream team when they played previously. She had 15 points. Her points line is 9.5. She's hit that in 4 of her last 5 games. She's not a really like hardcore scorer. She's on this team to play good defense and facilitate, but I mean, she's been smacking her points line at 9.5. It's plus money. Smacked it in 4 straight games, 12, 23, 20, and 14, taking, 8 to 10 to 12 shots. So you got to hope she keeps shooting the ball well, but she had 20 against this team when they played on the 29th. So her 15 plus is plus 410, 20 plus is plus 1700 if you think she can replicate that performance again. So I think there's some value in this game, props wise as well. Another one that definitely should be a good game. These ladies are also getting ready for the All-Star break. So they are like gearing up to go on a little bit of a break to either play in the All-Star game or also have a little bit of a rest. So I would imagine you're going to see some some push, kind of like when we, in the NBA, like you see players sometimes give it their all over the 2 or 3 games leading up to the All-Star break because they know they're about to get a little bit of a pause. So they can kind of go balls to the wall a little bit. And we're seeing I think we're going to see some similar stuff over the next few days in the W as well. So, anything else that you liked in this game?
No, just the Dream plus 4.5. I think I am going to tap in with Griner.
Word. I've got Canada points if you want to tap in, Chad, as well. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us on this beautiful Sunday. Any updates, Chad, on Sinner? How's Sinner doing? Or Alcaraz? What's going on in Wimbledon? Let me know what's happening there. Let me finish typing out this banner too. If you guys would like to ride out with us for this first game on the day, we did cook up an SGP for the first one plus 1,000. If you'd like to rock and roll with us, It is Paige Beckers, 17+ points. Caitlin Clark, 26+ PA. Natasha Howard, 6+ rebounds. And Kelsey Mitchell, 3+ threes. So let me just get that tuned in for you guys so you can tail if you would like to. It'll be scrolling at the bottom of the screen to get the vibes moving. Did you have any baseball that you...
I was just going to say Alcaraz is up 1. He took the first set. We got Sinner up 5-4 in set 2.
Okay. I have a feeling this is going to turn into a 5-gamer or
I hope
5-setter. 5-setter. All right. Let me just get this finished. Type this up here for you guys. All right. There we go. Scroll that at the bottom for you. If anybody would like to tail, feel free to do so. Okay. Any baseball you want to mention now, or should we keep rolling into the rest of the WNBA?
Keep rolling. Maybe if I sneak some baseball in at the end, I will. But chat's probably better off. I went 0-2 yesterday. Not 1-1, but 0-2. So that sucked. And both batters went over. So it's, I don't know. Like, it sucks when they get a single, but it also kind of sucks when they go over. So
there's nothing worse than watching a guy you really like back and then like he just does absolutely nothing. That is one of the most frustrating things. It's like a guy you bet to make a couple threes and he goes like 0-for-8. Like, there's nothing worse.
Oh my God. Speaking of that, I said PTSD to the time I bet Mikal Bridges over 1.5 threes, and he had 30 points, but went 0-for-11 from 3. My God. Yeah. Like, isn't that insane? He hit everything. He hit his PRA. He hit his everything. Every single thing. 0-for-11.
The one wrong prop. This is why 3-point prop sometimes is so frustrating, because it's either free as air or everything else hits, and that's the one thing that doesn't. Which is
that night you just caught me walking around the house going like this. He got the volume. He got the volume. He got the volume.
Yeah, he did it. It was right there. It was the right read. It was the right read. Yeah. Okay, let's jump to this. The Connecticut game taking on the Sparks. You got the Sun taking on the Sparks here in Los Angeles. 10.5-point favorites are the Sparks. Sun, really tough team to bet. They've been playing great basketball over the last week or so, though. And they pushed the Storm all different directions, especially at home. The Storm ended up finally getting the job done in that last game, but it was the Sun pushed them to the limit in that one. And, dude, it's been on the back of Tina Charles. And I told you guys this when we talked about this last time. I didn't understand what her line was in the last game. She absolutely smacked it with ease. She hit her rebounding line in like the first quarter. And we're seeing it again, dude. Her rebounding line is 5.5. Her PR is 21.5. She's coming off a 20.10 rebound game against the Storm. And this is just about the matchup, brother. She has destroyed the Sparks. Now, all of it was last year, and she is an older player, so you do have to kind of count that in. But with how she's been playing recently, with the run that she's been getting, I am going to just keep rocking and rolling with this. I don't understand why this line is 21.5. Her double-double is like plus 500, sprinkled on that once again, plus 600 in some places. She's had a double-double in 3 straight games against the Sparks. Let me read off her last 3 games against the Sparks for you. 23 points, 10 boards. 20 points, 11 boards. 21 points, 14 boards. And then her last 2 games outright, 2 of those being against the Seattle Storm, 29-11, 20-10. This team sucks, so there's that. She is an older player, but she's out there just to hoop at this point, and they're just kind of letting her do that. And she could give this Sparks team a problem. They're not very good defensively. I know Hamby's decent, and Azura Stevens is also decent down low, but neither one of those ladies are a big problem defensively. They're more out there for their offense. And I think Charles is going to take advantage. So I think you're getting great value on the 21.5 PR. Love the double-double sprinkle, like I mentioned. And I think she's going to keep rolling. So I talked about it last time, didn't bet it, and hopefully I'm talking about it today and betting it, and it's going to go well. We'll find out.
I think the public and Sharps are kind of in agreement with you, maybe not specifically on Tina Charles, but in terms of this like Connecticut team. And if this Connecticut team is going to cover this 10.5-point spread, they're going to need someone like Tina Charles to kind of step up to the plate here. They don't really have anyone else. And we're looking at 61% of the handle on the Connecticut Sun plus 10.5, as well as 62% of the bets. It feels like public and Sharps kind of in agreement with this one. The 10.5 points is a lot of fucking points to give this Sparks team, whether it's at home, whether it's right before the All-Star break. 10.5 points is a shit ton of points. And let's not fuck around. These ladies probably know what the spread is, right? They're walking into this like you know what I mean? You walk into it a little bit more when you're looking at yourself as that much of a dog against a team that you probably don't think is that much better than you. I think they're 3 wins better, right? They have 3 more wins than the Sun this season. I don't know. The Suns' perimeter defense, though, is fucking terrible. Should we look at somebody on that side? Maybe a Kelsey Plume, somebody who's been playing kind of well on that regard? Anybody else?
Yeah, I was looking because the Sun are bad defensively. I just there's not really anybody that jumped off the page for me from the Spark side of things. I was looking for angles on how to do it to fade the Sun defense, but I couldn't really find anything I liked a lot. I mean, Plum just had an 11 assist performance, so maybe her assist is a nice play because she's going to have the ball in her hands a lot. If you think Azura Stevens maybe could get going, she could definitely take advantage. I liked her points as well when I was kind of looking at that, but I kind of like the other side of things, man. I agree with you. I think the Sun could cover it. They're going to get blown out by 30 now, but because again, this team is not good. They are bad, but they've been playing more inspired over the last few games. The Sparks are 12th in the WNBA, which is second worst in points allowed. So they're not very good defensively, allowing a lot of scoring. I think this game could be fun, kind of a back and forth type of thing. I think Plum is, like you mentioned, probably the way to go if you really want to fade the Sun. But as I said, Azura Stevens is also somebody who you could look into. Her threes is something that's interesting over 1.5. I know you love those types of lines. Coming off an 0 for game against the Lynx as well. Doesn't have great success against the Sun, but all those were last season. She did hit 1 3 in that game, or in all 3 of those games against this team. And she's the type of shooter that, like, she's only going to take maybe 5 to 6 threes in a game. Sometimes, like, every once in a while she'll take a 7 there, here and there, but like to 1.5 line, we know how that goes. She's hit some 3, so that 3+ as well looks kind of tasty. So I don't know. I kind of lean a little more with the Sun sticking around here and kind of was going that direction with this. But if you like, I'm trying to just think about anybody else besides. I mean, if Sook was here, he'd want to maybe talk about Rakia Jackson, but she's been really tough to bet on too. She's just really inconsistent. She's coming off 2 threes though. And she has hit a 3 and 2 straight against Connecticut. So maybe that's the way to go. But yeah, I kind of just stuck with Charles and then moved on from this game. This game could turn into just an absolute slop fest. Neither one of these teams play very good defense. This could be the grossest game on the entire slate, just with how bad these ladies can be at particular portions. So, but yeah, I just went with Charles. That was it.
Yeah, I'm not right with Charles. Maybe the 10.5, but right, I'm not too pressed to be pushing the button on the Connecticut Sun. I can tell you that.
If you watch them, you would probably agree with yourself on that one too. Yeah. All right, last game. Mystics. This one should be very good. Mystics are a fun team to watch and to bet. I've been watching / betting on them pretty much all the entire season. Obviously, they have the new Washington monuments, Kiki Iriefin and Shakira Austin coming to town to take on the Seattle Storm, coming off that win against the Sun. Like I mentioned, this line has moved. It's now a 7.5 point spread towards the Storm at home. The Mystics on the road, over under set at 156.5. Now, I got to play in this game, but I want to get your thoughts on the sides here. I kind of lean with the Mystics to cover. I don't know, what are the betting splits looking like?
So the betting splits have me thinking the opposite. Just based solely on these betting splits. 75% of the handle is on the Storm, despite 60% of the bets being on the Mystics. So the public's looking like they're loving the Mystics here, but sharps are putting their money on the 7.5. And like you said, this line's moved. It was 6.5 before we started the show. It's now sitting at 7.5. This feels like a spot to me where this Storm team has been really good. They've been like, I think maybe not better than expectations, because I can't really tell you what preseason expectations were, but they've been good. They've held their own against some good teams. They've got a win over the Liberty within the last, I think, week. And this is a team with the Mystics that is on the opposite coast, playing on a Sunday, and it feels like a little bit tough, like a little bit of a tough travel spot. So I was leaning on the 7.5, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the right side. I like both of these teams. I'm a big fan of the Storm. I love what the pieces they have. I'll talk about one of them in a second. And I obviously really like the Mystics. I think, like I said, those two big ladies, Citron has been awesome. Sykes has been playing great. But yeah, tough travel spot. They have been back-to-back games at home. So this is their first road game since the 10th. So they have had a couple days to travel, but coming off 2 games where they were favored in both games and lost outright in both of them. Oh, no, sorry. Won outright in both of them. That crazy comeback win against the Aces, and then that win against the Sky where they were favored, so they should have won that game. But I really don't know. I think it's kind of a split for me. I've leaned Mystics just because of that, but I don't know. The Storm could totally come in and win this game by 10 plus, especially at home. So I do like this prop though. And again, this is just one of those situations, man, where I don't really understand why this line's where it's at still. I bet it last game. It was basically the same and it was free. Going straight back to it here. Give me Gabby Williams over 22.5 PRA. I don't know why this line is at a playable number at 22.5. She's hit this in 3 straight games with 16, 21, and 18 points. Purely, I just set it, forget it. Don't overthink it. It's plus money. Unless she just has a bad shooting game, like this is going to be something that will definitely get over the line with how much she has the ball in her hands. She's going to grab some boards. She's going to facilitate. If you think this game does stay relatively close, she's going to have a lot to say shooting the basketball too. There's no history backing for this because she is, her role has completely changed with this team, turned into a completely different player. They haven't played this season yet, so this is her first game against them. So I just think that she's going to come out and do exactly what she's been doing, cooking, and stick to it. So give me the 22.5 PRA for Gabby, and kind of lean Mystics, but don't really have any major thoughts there besides that.
I kind of like that a lot, SPJ too. She's been really good. You talk about her a lot here on our shows, and I feel like this Mystics team is somebody you're really tapped in on, right? That you enjoy watching, and not just that, but I feel like because of that, when you enjoy watching a team, sometimes you know them a little bit better than everybody else.
100%. Well, and I like both of these teams. So this is a game that I will probably tap into later and watch because I like both these teams. I like the way they play. They're good matchups for each other as well. Like, because Nneka and Ezzy down low are good matchups or not good, but it should be fun to watch the matchup between Kiki and Shakira. 2 guards and Skylar and Gabby who are very good, and Brittany Sykes and Sonia Citron on the Mystics are also very good. So like there's a lot of good matchups in this game that are they're going to be going back and forth, and we'll just kind of see how that breaks down. But Erica Wheeler's also been very good. Her assist was something I was looking at, didn't end up pressing the button. But she's been great with 5 and 7 assists in back-to-back games. Her line's 3.5. She had 7 assists against the Mystics when they played last year, but she was a member of a different team. So, that's all I got.
Dude, I'm fully into the WNBA today, invested. I have multiple bets out now, so either I'm gonna be very happy or I'm gonna take another break for a few days. But these 4 game slates, that's when I have the most fun. I'll be honest, where you can get. You know what I mean? There's a little more action at the lines are a little bit less sharp and all that kind of stuff. When there's 2 games, it's a lot harder to navigate. So I'm ready for some fun today. And one's about to tip off in a few minutes.
Right, literally in the next few minutes. And we've got the SGP down here. If you guys want to get involved, if you're just tapping in, if you want to roll with us, it's right there on the bottom. I know you've got a couple plays on the diamond. We can finish out with that and cook a parlay, and then we'll get out of here.
Yes.
I see. What are you liking on the diamond?
First, we're starting with Mookie Betts, over 1.5 total bases, plus 120. He hasn't been as maybe stunning as he has been last year, but he's been good this year. Mookie Betts is always a reliable hitter. Today, the reason I'm going to him is just because of the wind conditions. We got wind blowing out hard around 13 miles per hour directly out towards left outfield, and I think that Mookie is in a great position. Robbie Ray has been good for the Giants this year, but a lot of it is because of the hitter conditions that come with playing at Oracle. The wind is constantly blowing in. It is a park with shitty fucking dimensions, and this is one of the only parks you can get bullshit like unicorns. So I fucking hate everything about it. But with the wind conditions today, with Mookie on deck, it feels like a spot where he can get us the bases and maybe even the yaks. Give me the over 1.5 total bases for Mookie Betts, somebody I haven't bet too often this year, and someone I have bet very often this year and who's been fantastic for me, Mike Trout. We're going to Mike Trout over 1.5 total bases. Again, wind conditions at Angel Stadium, just absolutely fantastic. Winds blowing out around 12 miles per hour. He had a home last night, and he's been killing this D-backs team. He's batting .253 during the day. He's got 9 home runs at home now, and he's really kind of found his swing at Angel Stadium. Before, you could kind of see him doing a lot better away from Anaheim, but he's really kind of brought it back. He's playing well again, and going up today against Merrill Kelly, a guy who's having a good year, but to me, really just waiting for an opportunity to come open at the seams. what better day than today with winds blowing out, Mike Trout opposite of you? Just give me Mike Trout's over 1.5 total bases, -105.
Boom. Trout and Mookie. What could
That's
go
it.
wrong?
That's
it. Nice. All right, there we go. There's some plays on the diamond for you guys. You can obviously go get involved with the Club World Cup final, which is going to kick off here in the next couple of hours. Shaggy has those plays for you guys at bettingnews.com if you want to get involved with the pitch. We've talked about the 4 WNBA games today, chat, and now let's get to the point where let's put together a parlay and then send you off and let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. All right. Do you want to include either one of these guys from the diamond, or do you want to just stick on the dub?
Let's leave them in the reserve. Let's get to some other stuff first and start building, and then if we want to come back to them, we can.
Okay, I can get down with that.
How do we feel about the Dream +4.5? Oh wait, the line's moved now.
It's +6.
What the fuck just happened there?
I don't know.
Does that make you feel sus about it?
I mean, I like more points for the Dream, but that does make me feel a little sus that it moved 1.5 points. It was 5.5 when we were kind of talking about it, so I don't know if it was 4.5 or 5.5. But I don't know. I like Canada.
Oh, I'm down for Canada.
Okay.
You want to sweat out Griner with me?
Maybe not in a parlay.
Okay.
I think I see why. I think Ryan Howard might have gotten ruled out. I think that's why. I'm not seeing lines for her anymore. Maybe that's what it is. Is that what? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Ryan,
I just saw it.
Ryan got ruled out. That's why. I'm glad I got that Canada line locked in before that line's up to 12.5 now. Wow. Okay. What do you
Let's go with Canada.
Okay. Let me see what the PRA is now, because I think I'd rather go that direction.
Ellie De La Cruz is trending right now. That's never a good sign.
Never a good sign. 22.5 for her PRA. You down for that?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go Canada 22.5 PRA. I also liked Sabrina's threes. I didn't mention that when we were talking about this earlier. I like her threes. She's hit 3+ in like 5 straight games. -120 value. She shoots better at home. The Dream are good defensively from 3, but I feel like Sabrina's definitely gonna have some stuff to say in this game. So, but we'll stick with Canada there. Sun Mystics or Sun Sparks. You down to ride with Charles?
Oh yeah, so down. More down than the 10.5.
Yeah, that's gonna be sketchy. All right, 10.5 for Tina. Oh, it's 22.5 now. Damn. What's her boards? Is it 5.5 still?
Let me take a look.
Yeah, let's take her rebounds. Just 6.
Okay.
She should get 6 boards. Okay. All right, Storm Mystics. You like the Gabby play?
I do like the Gabby play. I do. What's the juice on the money line? Probably too
That's pretty
juiced.
hefty.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty hefty.
that's ugly. Yeah, let's go with Gabby. Do we want to do anything with Skylar? We didn't really talk about her, but
I liked her points when I was looking at it, but it doesn't really have. I mean, the Mystics are pretty good defensively, so I don't know for sure. But
total's kind of low too. Let's just go with Gabby.
Okay. All right, Gabby PRA over 22.5. Tina Charles 5.5 boards. Canada over 22.5 PRA. That's plus 477. Gabby, we could add. Man,
do we just add Mike Trout?
is that your favorite compared to Mookie?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the safer bet.
Okay, I can get down with Trout. Where is Mike? Where is he at? Oh wow, I forgot because it's the last day of before the All-Star break that all these games are like right now / early afternoon.
Yeah, Mike's a little bit later though, so we should have some time to post.
308, yeah. All right, batter props. 2 bases for Mr. Trout. Okay, man. Plus 939. So Canada, 22.5 PRA. Tina Charles, 5.5 rebounds. Gabby Williams, 22.5 PRA. And Mike Trout, 2+ bases. That is plus 939. That does the job. That does the job for sure.
Does the job.
Chat, I will post that on the timeline. Answer this question from Padge. We will announce it this week. We have not announced it yet, so you didn't miss anything. We will announce it this week. We'll probably just announce it on the show, so you guys are being excited to get involved. Thanks for everybody that submitted as well. Big shout out to BetOnline for doing that. We'll announce it at one of the shows this week. And then I will check on this, Sean Beasy. I will have a gander and see what's going on with that. Thanks for letting me know. I've got to check the store and see what's going on with that. Lee with 6 points, of course. Lotto. All right, Alan, hang on. All right, hang on a second here. I got a lotto that I can read off to you guys if you want to tail. Oh, you can't actually because Natasha Howard already started. But
give us one of the legs or two of the legs.
Tina Charles, double-double, and Jordan Canada, 15 points.
Throw in Mookie home run, chat.
Oh, you want to take Trout home run?
I was just trying to diversify. Plus, it's more of like a lotto. You'll get Mookie at a really good price. Trout's going to be like, I think, 2 plus 280.
Why don't we take their bases instead of the home run?
Mookie's down plus 120.
Because he could totally hit 2 doubles.
Yeah, we could even take 3 or 4.
All right, hang on. Let me do this. So Canada for 15 points. Double dipping on it, but whatever. It's fine. It's a lotto. Oh, wow. Plus 15 points is now plus 148. That was like plus 300 earlier. Okay, Canada for 15. Tina. Let's just take 8 boards. I don't even think we need to go all the way to the moon. Yeah, plus 250. Cool. That's crazy. And then Mookie for 4 bases. Let me find where's Mr. Betts. Dodgers. Batter props. 3 bases for him is plus 260.
I'm down to do that. 3 bases. He can definitely hit a triple, especially in this fucking park.
Or a double and a single. All right, Jordan Canada, 15 points. Tina Charles, 8 boards. Mookie Betts, 3 bases, plus 30-24. That does the job.
That does the job.
Nice little Sunday sweat. If you'd like to get involved, put a cup of coffee on it. However you guys like to bet these types of ones, since Owen asked for it. Appreciate you, Owen. Bing bong. All right. Good stuff, man. Great stuff, chat. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out today for your Saucy Sundays and the All Sauce team right here on the Betting News Network. We appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Get out there. There's a lot of sports going on today. There's NASCAR. There's obviously the Club World Cup final, which I talked about. The Alcaraz right now and Sinner going head-to-head in Wimbledon. We've got a huge WNBA slate. B gave you some plays on the diamond. It's going to be fun to get involved. So go check it out, bettingnews.com, for more information on any of those other things that we didn't talk about right here. And lock in this right here with us if you want to get involved with the SGP in this game. Keep us posted on how this is doing as we rock and roll. And V, pleasure as always, man. You got anything else?
That's it. Let's have a nice little Sunday, recoup some units, and go into the week a little bit richer.
A little bit richer indeed. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Go check us out on all the socials. Go follow V. Go follow myself. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News. We'll catch you in the next one. We'll catch you tomorrow, V, and I will be back with Shags to kind of recap the weekend, get you ready for the home run derby tomorrow, and kick off the week, like you said, with some more units in your pocket. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Have a fantastic Sunday, and we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Riding in the deep. Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do now? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about